Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're going to go over how to pick the domain name and how to, go out and buy a domain name so you can start your blog or website. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so Dynadot is a domain suggestion tool. This is the tool I use when I wanted to try to find a domain name for the website that I'm creating and the YouTube channel. This is where I went. So you can come in here, you can put any of the keywords you want. So let's say I want to do, you can, whatever your niche is. So if you go through our video that shows you the niche, you want to go through here and try to figure out what is the best domain name to get, right? And you want a domain name. A lot of people currently are, using their personal names for their website. I tend to not like that because down the road, if I want to sell my website, let's say I'm doing well and it's making money and I'm done with it and I want to sell it and make, whatever, a couple $100,000, $1 million, whatever it's worth, making money, whatever it's worth, it's going to be hard to sell if it's your actual name. So if it's my name, DerekCarter.com, that would be tough to sell. So I personally like to use business names or names that pertain to the niche that I'm in. One thing I was looking at is, for how to build a website, how to, create a blog that's going to be able to make money for people and go through steps 1 through, 20 and how to do all this. My YouTube channel and my blog all teaches people how to build websites and how to make money with them. So I was trying to think, okay, income, making money, blog, website. So I start putting keywords together that I can form to try to come up with that. So let's say I want income crusher. Okay. And you want to do a .com. You do not want to do a .net, .tv, whatever. If you can get a .com, you want a .com. Okay. So I just threw out Income Crusher. It is not available for the .com. So that one's gone, right? But the good thing about this is you have two separate words, income and crusher. So down here, it has your first word, income, and your second word, crusher. Then in blue, it'll show you the different things that you can use to switch out for income. I can put in fortune, profit, freedom, so I can do profit crusher. Oh, congratulations, that domain's available. Okay. And $8.99 is a good deal, but I wouldn't buy your domain from Dynadot. I actually use NameCheap, and I will show you them in a minute, and I'll give you the reason why I use them. Now, if you don't like profit crusher or you don't like that word, you can look for some others. Some of these don't make sense. Deals crusher. I mean, it just depends on your website and what you're looking for. Some of these don't make sense. So profit shredder, it's available. Profit crusher, we already looked at. And you just go through and you look to see what might work. The more popular you think the name will be, the probably harder it will be to get, right? So if you wanted to do, I know these guys have this called Income School, right? It's not available. They're using this, but that would be a popular one, right? Income School. You're teaching people through a school how to make income, extra income by blogging or YouTubing or whatever. Great. That's a great way to do it, right? So just play around with this. There's other tools out there. There's leandomain.com, like I put in baby whisperer, if you're going into the baby niche or something. And it gives you all these different words at the end and the beginning that could go with it that are green. So all the green ones are like, hey, these are open. Baby Whisperer Network, Baby Whisperer World. Now, I will tell you it's harder to find two-word names.com it's more likely you'll get a 3 or 4 word name. Try to make it as small as possible and pertains to your niche. Don't get some crazy thing that has nothing to do with your niche, words that mean nothing, and that'll make it tougher for people to associate what you do with your niche. So don't do that. The other one is Nameboy. Nameboy is another one. You just go ahead and enter 1 or 2 words, or however many, you submit it. It gives you ideas on what you can do. So those are the 3 used. Like I said, I use Dynadot. That's just me. You can use whatever you want. And so, like I said, the other thing you want to avoid is hyphens and numbers, okay? So you don't want to get hyphens or numbers. You want to use a .com, and you want to try to use your main keywords in your name. Like I'm the baby whisperer, I'm the baby store, babystoreforall.com. You know, think about what you want to sell or what you're providing on your blog or website, and put together as many keywords from that as possible that make sense, and then start throwing them in here and figuring out what your domain's going to be. That is how I would do it. Now you can use your own name. Go ahead. I mean, a lot of people do it. Very successful. Just going to be tricky to sell it if you ever want to sell the business. So that's up to you guys, whatever you want to do. Now, when you're going to buy a domain, you're more than, we're going to put where we're going to have these tools in the description, so you can go and look, you know, at the link for Dynadot and Lean Domain Search and for Nameboy. We'll have those there. I currently use NameCheap is where I hold all my domains, and then I use like SiteGround or some other hosting companies, and then I redirect my domain name back to those. The reason is I just have used NameCheap for a long time for my domain names. They're cheap, $8.88 for a .com. Now, usually I think when it renews on the yearly, because you have to pay for a domain name every year, I think that goes up to $12 or something, but it's really not that expensive. And do not, when you buy a domain name, do not get all the extras. They try to upsell you on all this stuff. You don't need any of that. No junk. Just buy the domain name. Don't buy anything else. The other thing is they give you Whois for free on domain name on NameCheap. So that means it hides your name from outside sources. It used to be an extra $1 a year, but now it's free, so you don't have to worry about it. Now, if you do use NameCheap, which will be in the description, you can link to it. There's a link you can go and buy your domains there once you figure out which domain you want. It's pretty easy. As you can see, my website, IncomeSmasher.com, okay, as you can see, IncomeSmasher.com. Here's my domain name that I used. I used Dynadot to find it, and then I went out to here. I looked here to see if it was available. After Dynadot said it was available, I came here. It was still available. I paid the $8.88 for the year, and I bought it. Okay, and then here's my account. And as you can see, I own this domain name. It's easy. So let's say you go to SiteGround, which is the hosting provider we recommend if you're new and you just want inexpensive hosting for your site, until you get it built up. It's also in the description. You just go to hosting, sign up for the hosting, and then all you have to do is this: when you're at your hosting provider, they'll give you DNS names, and then you just go to manage from your domain name. And from here, you just put in the DNS. So you use custom DNS, and then you put in the domain names they tell you that go back to the hosting provider. It takes 24 hours to sync with the domain for your domain name to sync across the network, and then boom, you can set everything up. We have a video to show you how to set up web hosting, how to sign up for web hosting, how to go in and take care of, setting up your WordPress and getting everything set up. We show you how to do everything, so don't have to worry about it. But on this one, I was using DreamHost. It's a more advanced one when you've got sites that are more advanced. SiteGround is fine. I use it for other sites, but some other sites I use DreamHost. I just don't put all my sites on one hosting provider. I kind of have a couple different ones I use. But SiteGround's perfect, and you'll have no problems with it. So that's basically how you... Now, if you go to SiteGround, you can do this too. And when you sign up for SiteGround for the hosting, you can just register your domain name there too. And then you don't have to redirect the DNS or do any of this stuff. That's up to you. I'm just telling you, for me, I like NameCheap. I put all my stuff in one place for the domain name, and then I, redirect it. But you can do what you want. It's not really that big of a deal. So, hey, if you can, we would love for you to hit the like button, share this with anyone you can, and we really, hit the bell so you get reminded every time a new video comes out. And that is how you would register your domain name and then pay for it, obviously, get it all set up, and get everything ready now for your hosting and then setting up your WordPress website.